I thought maybe more of you because you look a little sleepy out there. Hello, I'm Susan King, the Dean of the School of Journalism and Mass Communication. And like many of you, this is my first fall at Chapel Hill. So I feel an affinity for those of you who are in the first class. Those of you who are juniors looking at us, this would be your first time to join us here at the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, so you may feel an affinity with me. I was very excited to be part of last night's opening ceremony, even in the rain, and I know it was kind of disappointing not to have Fall Fest the way I've heard it's fantastic. But the pep rally was amazing, the convocation was important, and I felt now we have begun. So we want to welcome you here to our school, and if you are not yet committed to our school, you will be by the end of this presentation, I tell you. First, a couple of just things in our welcome. The reason I think you will be is I know deans brag always about their schools, but I think we are perhaps the most centrally located and central kind of discipline in this school, because we're made up of a number of disciplines. We're practitioners and we're researchers. We're communicators and we're scholars. And what we do is protected by the Constitution. We are about a free press. We are the embodiment of the First Amendment. We are a school that teaches the future of journalism. In fact, we're inventing the journalism of the future. And we're people who study what communication does to communities, to individuals, to societies, and how we can really gather the forces of communication and use it for the good of society and around certain issues. We tell the story of our time, and we are telling you that if you are the kind of person who is curious, who likes to learn about worlds that they don't know, if you can write, if you can think on your feet, and if you can Facebook, tweet, and create, you have a home here. We are all those things. We are about preparing students for the world they won't know, so they have to be prepared for change. We are looking to have people who will leave here able to write clearly, think critically, and tell the stories with passion. If that interests you, then start to meet some of our faculty and some of the leading edge, innovative things that we do in this school. I'm going to start by just showing you what was done this summer in something called Powering the Nation. It's part of a national program. News 21 was started a few years ago, and UNC decided that their multimedia program would focus on energy issues. And this summer, they focused on water. Now, most of you probably know this year there's going to be a theme all across campus, in the research labs, in the humanities, in the sciences, here at the School of Journalism, that focuses on the issue of water as a theme, incredibly important to life, and a scarce resource. And so the students who were part of Powering the Nation decided, let's make our multimedia program, our journalistic, innovative, cutting-edge, online, digital project focus on water. So I'm not going to say any more. It's called 100 Gallons. Watch our screens. That's just to get you interested. The students did that work, traveled all across the country. All those photos that you saw, not one was staged. They were all picked up journalistically. There's business stories online. There's stories about scarcity. We just started the conversation that you'll be having all year, the role of water in our lives and in the world. And guess what? All the students who worked on that project this summer got paid. It was a paid internship, paid to do work that will put them on the cutting edge of people who will be hired in our industry. So that tells you where we're going. What can you do if you come to the school? Journalism, multimedia. You can also major in advertising and public relations. You can do strategic communications in the interdisciplinary health communications program. We are known across the state and across the country, the kind of work that is done here. It's both practice. You can come out doing the work. You also can come out studying about the work. There's two different tracks in this school. If you decide to major in journalism, there are also different sequences you can take. Editing and graphic design, and a lot of the work that you've seen up in the 100 gallons has to do with that kind of editing and graphic design. There's reporting, multimedia, photojournalism, electronic communications, both television and radio. There's advertising, the creative and the business of advertising. There's public relations and strategic communications. And we have three different tracks that you can get within that. You can get a special certificate in Latino journalism, in business journalism, media, and sports communication, as well as health communication. It sometimes sounds complicated, but if you have a passion, you can find it here and walk out with something that's not just general, it's a skill and it's a general understanding of the business and world of communication, but it's a specialty around something that you're really interested in. So how do you do that? How do you get into the classes, and how do you graduate on time? There's one woman in this school who gets to know all of you intimately, because you usually in her class saying, but I have to get into that class. I'm about to graduate. Her name is Sharon Jones. She is perhaps the most important person in this building for you, and she's going to come on up here, Sharon, and tell you some of what you need to know as you think about us as a school. Sharon, you're on.
Good morning. I'm Sharon Jones, Director of Student Records and Assessment. I have two assistants, Marla Barnes and Tricia Robinson. Our offices are located in Carroll 154. Once you are officially in the J-school, a worksheet will be available for you. It's updated every semester. Make sure you get a copy of it, because you, I repeat, you are responsible for knowing and meeting your degree requirements. And you can also find the requirements listed under the current students on the JOMC website, jomc.unc.edu. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We are here to assist you with your advising needs as you progress through the remaining of your undergraduate career here in the journalism school. Please feel free to contact us with any of the questions that you may have. Yes, I am brief because we can go on and on today. Okay, thanks again, and I hope that you have a great semester.
Yeah, just who's in charge of your schedule? Yeah, not Sharon, you guys. And the guy who's going to really keep you on track in terms of that is our Senior Associate Dean, who I'm about to bring up here, Chris Rausch. There's a parade of students go into his room every single day. But Chris will remind you that part of what we're trying to do in the school is empower you to go out and do what you want to do, to change the world. We don't want you to just do what we tell us. The students up there in 100 gallons were pushing the faculty all the time. That's what we're looking for. So Chris Rausch, you come up, and he's got a long list of things he's going to tell you about. Honors program, our Carolina business program, and what you need to do to graduate on time.
Thank you, Sharon. First of all, well, Sharon is the boss of all of us. Thank you, Susan. I want to introduce somebody. He's going to come up and speak to you a little bit later, but Napoleon, if you could stand up. Napoleon is the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Studies. Napoleon and I work closely together to make sure that you will graduate on time. If you ever have a question about whether a course fulfills a requirement, if you want a course to fulfill a requirement that it doesn't currently fulfill, if you want to take an extra semester here at the school, anything like that to make sure that you graduate, come see either me or Napoleon, and we will make sure that that you get out of here in 4 years or 4.5 years or 5 years or however long it will take you. One of my duties here at the school is running the business journalism program. We have a brand new undergraduate program in business journalism in conjunction with the Keenan Flagler Business School. This business journalism program is open to about 12 to 15 students a year, so it's a very small program. But if you are interested in doing journalism, writing about businesses, writing about the economy, or even if you're interested in doing public relations but working for a company and doing corporate communications for a company, then I would urge you to take a look at the business journalism program. The application for the business journalism program is online at jomc.unc.edu/business journalism. The deadline to apply is early October. Let me say a few words about the honors program as well. Carolina has a long tradition of allowing students to graduate with honors. As a J-school major, you're eligible to graduate with honors if you have a 3.5 GPA at the end of your junior year. And then if you complete 2 honors courses here in the School of Journalism and complete an honors thesis in your senior year. So what you need to do is to start thinking about this if this is something that interests you. During the fall semester of your senior year, you develop a research idea and write your proposal for a study that you'd like to do. And then in the spring semester, you carry out your research and write your thesis. During both semesters, you work closely with an advisor from the J-school faculty. This is someone who will mentor you from your initial thoughts about your project to your final thesis. Past honors students have gone on or have done a variety of topics from surveying business journalists about their use of sources to understanding how international online news sites differ in their use of color in their infographics. All of these past honors theses are available in the Park Library upstairs on the 2nd floor if you'd like to take a look at what some past students have done. I'm not going to lie to you, writing an honors thesis is hard work, but students who participated in the honors program have often used the research that they've done to present papers at conferences or to develop their work into a professional or academic publication. If you think you might be interested in this or you want some more information about the honors program here at the J-school, please contact Ann Johnston. She is the departmental honors advisor and instructor of the courses. Her office is in Carroll 356, and her email address is amjohnst@email.unc.edu. That's amjohnst@email.unc.edu. Thank you.
I came here last January from New York City, where I was working at the Carnegie Corporation of New York. It's Andrew Carnegie's money, as I like to say. And so I used the fall semester last year to meet many of the students. And Bloomberg News, which is a very powerful news organization now, has about 5 or 6 of our students almost every year out of Chris's program who go up there. We're known as a pipeline around New York. UNC has a tremendous reputation in New York City. And when I met those students, they would talk about the kind of courses here. And Chris personifies something that I think is very much part of the DNA of our school: faculty care. They invest in their students. They care where you're going. And I hear it all the time when I meet alums. So you're going to meet the faculty a little bit later, because personifies that kind of DNA of this school. They invest in you and your future. Up next, John Clark runs the Reese Phelps Digital Newsroom Lab, and we were very lucky. One of our alums, a 1950 alum, worked in radio and television his whole career, and his parents had left him with some money, which he invested over the years, and when he died, he gave it to the school. And the dean before me worked with faculty to come up with something that would really honor his estate and entice his estate to, in fact, invest in the school. And it's called the Reese Phelps Newsroom, and it is a place of innovation and change and tomorrow. So John Clark, where are you? He came out of WRALs.com, and every time I meet the owner of RAL, they say they're going to try to get him back, but we're not going to let him. John Clark.
Good morning. The mission of the Reese Phelps Digital News Project is to push past the boundaries of media today, refine best practices, and embrace the risk of experimentation. What does that mean? It means we're a laboratory and we're a newsroom all rolled into one. The idea behind the Reese News Lab is to address interesting issues from a journalistic standpoint, but also figure out ways that we can learn from them. And the best way I can describe that is the example that we're just coming off of for the past 12 weeks. We tackled politics of North Carolina, really North Carolina issues as it relate to the elections coming up. What do North Carolinians really care about, and this dual role that the content's playing. The experimentation side of that was all around mobile. All the students had to produce their content with a mobile mindset. They had to produce their content from the standpoint of how does it look on a mobile device, and not from a how do you reformat it for mobile, what does mobile allow you to do. One of the projects that we cooked up that is on the screen now is a roll call, which we worked with J-school students, we worked with computer science students, graphic design students, a little bit of everybody across different disciplines to create this thing called the roll call. And what it is it's a way to track what the North Carolina General Assembly is doing with our tax dollars, with their votes, what kind of issues are they voting on, and you can track that throughout the entire process. And this is something that will continue on when they come back to session the first of the year. We're located downstairs. The Reese News Lab is downstairs in room 11. I encourage you to come by, check us out. We're going to have actually a pretty busy afternoon. The staff for the semester, or most of them, are going to be about down there this afternoon. So I encourage you to come by, check us out, see what we're doing. And I'm located in room 20. So if you have any other questions or are interested in working with us, please come see me. I look forward to experimenting with you.
I urge you to go down there before you go. Now, a quick commercial break. I wanted to make sure there were enough of you here. We have a trivia quiz, because we news people know the big news and we know the little news. We know the trivia. You know, you've got to be au courant with popular culture, and you've got to know what's going on in the world. So you were given trivia quizzes when you came in. You can give them to the staff before you leave. Make sure you do that. You can follow us on Twitter. You know, you've got to be with it here, you know, in this school. We're going to tweet the answers out, and we're going to tweet who the winner of the prize is. So we're going to find out how good you are, because we're not only going to give you some great J-school stuff, there's a $25 gift certificate for the student stores. So this is worth your time. So watch your Twitter, and if we don't hear after a while, we may email you. But you may not watch emails anymore. My daughter doesn't. But at any rate, that's we're trying to get you involved and see how good you are at the trivia. Okay. Up next, obviously in a school like this, we have to have the latest in IT equipment. It's not just because you have to have it. We now exist on all platforms as a news and communication business. And we are lucky to have a wonderful staff. If you turn around, all those guys in the back are part of the IT team. They do broadcast engineering. They do a little of everything. And their leader is David Alexander, who's going to come up and give you an idea of what goes on in the school. Come on up, David, because we lean on them big time.
Thank you. So I'm going to make a general assumption that at some point during your time here, you may have a problem with a piece of technology, whether it's a computer or camera, you name it. So what I'm going to try to do is just explain what our resources are and where you go to help. So the first thing you guys need to know about are the campus resources, the IT Response Center, 962 Help. There is a central campus 24-hour help desk that you guys probably know about, but don't be afraid to use that if you have questions about your email, general things that are run by campus and not specific to our school. So anything like Sakai, Blackboard, that kind of stuff, call them. If you're not sure, you can contact us, but in general, if it's something centrally run across units, you want to check with them first. And again, they're 24/7. We are, we go to sleep at night and they don't. So 962 HELP is the number, remember, for that. Next slide, please. The other thing, obviously, we have a bunch of equipment that's specific to the J-school. We have about 400 computers in this building. We have lots of cameras and gear and all sorts of things. If you have an issue with something that is in this school, come see me or one of my staff and we can try to sort it out. The thing to remember there is that email address, the help address, because that will get to all of us, and the most relevant person will get back to you, or the person with the most available cycles. So a lot of times we're busy running around the building. If you contact me, I may not get back to you right away. I get everything that's emailed there. Just be sure to use your UNC email address, because we do block some of the external domains for spam control. But we do all sorts of things, from supporting all the computers in here, connecting to our servers, all of the equipment checkout that's in the school, we will help you with that. And also, for those involved in some of the broadcast areas, we will try to help you with things like troubleshooting Final Cut and that sort of thing. So, thank you.
And you will find we have an HDTV full television studio right out here and down a couple of stairs. You're going to hear more about the television program. We have a radio program, but the equipment is top notch. You're not going to go out with sort of used stuff from some television station. Our professors demand and get the kind of latest in video and still cameras, so that the kind of work you saw on 100 gallons is really the best. You could see that incredibly high definition images all through that. Beautiful, beautiful things. You will have a small fee when you're in the class, and you'll have access to it when you need it. We have enough to be able to make you able to do the kind of projects you want to do. And I'm also happy to say many schools on campus do not have what we also have in this technological and video-oriented kind of school. We have a library. We have a really good library, and it's named after someone who underwrites all or most of our graduate and PhD students. It's named after Roy Park, who has invested in this school. We are very lucky to have the Park family behind us. It's called the Park Library. It is perhaps the most beautiful space in this entire building. It's a great place to study. It's got great computer hookups, and you can get, more importantly, information and resources for what you need to do as a student and a researcher, because our librarian, Stephanie Willen-Brown, is passionate about research. Stephanie, come on up. She goes to your classroom, she teaches research, and she is there to help you up in the library. So if you need something, you have no excuse. You have Stephanie.
So I'll just tell you the top 5 things you need to know about the Park Library. Everybody's welcome to study here, undergrads, grad students. We even let faculty in, and occasionally some dookies have been known to be there. We have several Macs, thanks to David, in the library and wireless, so you can come in, check your email. We make no judgments about what you do in the library. So you can do fun stuff, you can do work, either way. If you do want to do schoolwork in the library, we can help you save time. I can help you figure out how to find really good stuff for your research, for your courses, and I can help you find it a lot faster than you would do it on your own. You can ask us lots of different questions. So up on the top right over there is a little name tag with our chat ID on it. So if you click on that, you can chat us questions. You can like us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can ask questions that way. I've answered questions pretty much any way you can think of to communicate with me, even like phone. I can do that too. And if we've got it, you can have it. So we have about 10,000 books upstairs. We're upstairs in the back on the second floor. And the UNC library has about 7 million books, which maybe you already know from earlier courses. You can get any of them delivered to the Park Library and come pick them up if you don't feel like, if it's a day like today, you don't feel like heading over to Davis, you can do that. And the bonus is that you can eat and drink in the library. We just ask that you be neat. So hope you'll come up and see us.
At the end of the year, we have another convocation, and it's when awards are given to students. I have to admit, there's a few more people in the audience because there are a lot of students who are winning scholarships and awards. In fact, I was amazed last May to stand here. We gave $315,000 to students in the school for awards to the work that they had received or scholarships for them going forward. $315,000, and that's thanks to the development office and our alumni who respond to the kind of need to give to you students what they found here, an incredible education, and they want this reputation of this school to continue. So it's an investment in you, and Napoleon Byers, our Associate Dean for Undergraduate, is going to tell you more about that because he leads this program among a number of other programs. He's also in the public relations sequence.
I'm the money guy. Nicki Minaj, if you guys know what I'm talking about, Nicki Minaj hit single Your Love. She says, if you got spark, you got spunk, you got something all the girls want. Well, for the scholarship committee, you got to have smart, you got to have heart, because that's what the scholarship committee wants. In all seriousness, these are great times of hardship out there that students experience. I mean, you may have a parent that's laid off, that's sick. You may even be facing foreclosure at home, or you're not alone. As far as your academic expenses are concerned, the school is here to help you. But you got to be smart. You got to go to class. You got to bring back the grades. That's just what we have to deal with up front. Last spring, again, the school gave out over $300,000 in scholarships. The way this works, the faculty committee meets in the spring. Well, you fill out a scholarship application. First, let's go to class first. You got to go to class. You got to get good grades. You got to go onto the JOMC website. There's a scholarship application form there. You fill that out, email it to me. The scholarship committee evaluates that in the spring. We make notifications in April, and then you're helped in August when it's time for you to pay the tuition in the fall. So that's a simple process, but it starts with you being smart and responsible. The deadline for scholarships is usually February 1st, but this year we're going to move that forward. So it's going to be the first week in January. You can fill out the scholarship application forms. I wouldn't fill them out this week, next month. I'd say October. Let's rock in October, November. Let's start getting serious about that. I'll send notices out in JOMC News and on the website. We'll announce it in classes to remind you. But right now, just realize that there are people in this school that understand what you're going through and they want to help you. And there's also people in the school who want to award students who are just smart and they're without the grade need. I mean, it's just merit. So it's both of those that could qualify for scholarships. So don't be a shrinking violet. Go to the website, fill out the application, stop by and see me, or talk to your professor about scholarship awards in the school, and we'll help you. Take care.
And it goes without saying, what you write in these scholarship applications is important. But if you have a relationship with the faculty, they know who you are. If you have a relationship with people who are running the clubs, the faculty advisors and that, it's going to help to bring you as a full person and your need forward. And again, it's back to you, as Sharon said. The opportunities are here for you to just pick them. One of the commitments we want to make to you is an understanding that you've got a future and you're going to be creating some of the future, but we're going to do everything we can to move you forward. When I was named last fall the dean of the School of Journalism, a number of my friends said to me, "You're going to journalism school? The business is dying. Why are you doing that?" I'm here to tell you, It's changing, it's evolving. Journalism is not going away. There are more people consuming news in America than there ever was before. And more importantly, there are more people consuming news globally than ever before. It is perhaps the most exciting movement going on because more people are connected to phones and to the internet, et cetera. People are hungry to understand their world. And that's what we do, try to make sense of the complicated information glut. So it's not just the business of journalism or newspapers as people knew it. It is something bigger and more complicated and more uncertain, but no less exciting. And in our internship program, in our career program, we're going to try to give you opportunities so that you can try out the kind of things that you think you want to do to understand if this is what gives you the kind of excitement of the future. And the guy who runs that program is Jay Eubank. Jay, where are you? Come on up here. He runs a career service. And Laura, we've got a whole new program this year. They're going to tell you about it, but it's opportunity for you. Jay and Laura.
So today, this is probably one of the more exciting days for what I do because we get a twofer. Starting this year, I'm here to help you with everything from figuring out what you want to do career-wise, developing your internship, talking about the strategy to developing your resume, talking about the strategy to get your internship, talking about how you're going to go about finding a job when you graduate. And I'm here to help you with that. And then my colleague from University Career Services, Laura Lane, is here working in the journalism school 20 hours per week. Our offices are in the Student Services Suite where Sharon Jones, Marla, Tricia are, 161 and 162 Carroll. So a little bit about what you'll find about us can be found on the Career Services website. So I want you to get used to going there. The little Twitter icon. I would encourage you to follow the Career Services Office on Twitter. I tweet out internship and job openings. I tweet out things that might be useful for you to know about using social media, or how to craft a really great cover letter, or something really interesting about the 10 worst ads during the Super Bowl. So you can see from my Twitter feed, there's a lot of information there. So I would want you to subscribe to the J-school Twitter feed, the Journalism Career Services Twitter feed. Also, there is information about how to subscribe to the listserv that I oversee. It's called JOMC Careers, and that's under the current students under Career Services. I post internship and job openings that also end up on the Careerlina site. So that's a good way to keep tabs with what's going on. The other thing I want to emphasize is how much more we're going to try to do in terms of workshops to help you develop portfolios, how to network better, how to develop your resume, how to interview better. And after the convocation in the hallway, we have a calendar you can take home that lays out information about when those workshops are. So the main thing I really want to leave you with is we're here to help you. You can also see there's a icon for the calendar icon. You can go there to set up an appointment with either Laura or myself. And that's the easiest way for us to begin helping you to sit down, figure out what you want to do, talk about your experience, what you can do to build your experience. But you can go there, log in. You'll see days and times that are available for Laura and myself. And now I want to turn it over to Laura.
Hi, welcome everybody. I'm real excited. This is only my second week being over in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, 20 hours a week, and I'm just delighted to be here. You're really lucky. University Career Services happens to be in the building right next door, Haynes Hall, and you have access to everything there as well as everything here, and Jay and I are looking forward to working together. One of the things that I want to bring your attention to is there's a little word up there called Careerlina, and that is something that you are already uploaded into, and you will need to update your user profile, and that's going to give you access to all the jobs and internships that employers post for our students, for UNC students, and some will even say say that they're looking specifically for School of Journalism and Mass Communication students. You can also see all the events that we're doing, all of the fairs that we're having. If you're looking for a part-time job, there's a part-time job fair this Wednesday. You can see the employers that are attending, and that'll be taking place over in the Union. So I welcome you, and I encourage you to take advantage of everything available to you via Career Services. Have a great semester.
As a school, careers are commitment, internships and careers commitment we're making to you. But what we do, again, is we have incredible alums who know the quality of the education that happens here, and they make amazing internships available. There's also a spring break and a fall break where students can compete for slots. Our alums make a contribution so that you can go to New York or Chicago or the West Coast and meet alums in the public relations and the advertising, the journalism field. It is something we're only going to strengthen. It's there for you again. We're going to have one addition to our program to tell you a little bit about our television line. Charlie Tuggle, why don't you work up here, come up, and Kyle Lang. We've got a new relationship with the athletic department, and if you were at last night's event, you know, the pep rally sort of showed some of the kind of quality that makes UNC different than other institutions, and we've opened up a closer relationship because you heard them talking about last night, ESPN, and John Skipper, who runs the ESPN, is part of our school, and he is going to be at our homecoming event. So ESPN is very committed to this campus, but we're going to be doing more on ESPN, and you have the opportunity to work with ESPN in covering everything from field hockey, lacrosse, volleyball, as well as the basketball, and get paid for it. Charlie.
All right. Here within the school, you have the opportunity to be involved in several, one or more of our school news outlets. There's Carolina Connection, which is a weekly radio news program live on WCHL here in town. Carolina Week. Jim Hefner is the news director for Carolina Week. There will be an interest meeting at 1 o'clock in Carol 132 for any of you who have an interest in television news. You've already heard about Reese News, which is our online news platform, and we're adding Sports Extra, which is a 30-minute sports highlights and analysis, in-depth program that we'll be doing. That's going to start this semester, and for those who come into those platforms and prove themselves and do things the way we think you ought to do it, especially if you're interested in sports, we then kind of move your name up the ladder to Kyle, and you can become involved in the various ESPN platforms that we'll be working with. So I'll let Kyle tell you just a little bit about ESPN and what we're doing with them. So news, sports, journalism, reporting, behind-the-scenes stuff, Carolina Week, Carolina Connection, Reese News, and Sports Extra.
Well, on behalf of everyone in the athletic department that works with the ESPN contract, we just wanted to encourage students that are interested in video, and specifically sports video, to come to an interest meeting on Friday in 132. Is that what it is? 10 o'clock on Friday. 10 o'clock on Friday, but what room? 132. In room 132, 10 o'clock on Friday. You'll learn a little bit more about what the athletic department has to offer you guys. And we're really excited about making this partnership, sort of developing it. We had an unofficial one for the last few years now, and we're really excited about working closer with you guys and helping you out. So thank you.
So from things on campus and tighter and stronger relationship across campus, we're going to go to the world. You all know the world is, you know, here for you to pluck. I went abroad when I was in college. Not many people did. Now, large percentages of student bodies are doing it. And not only do you have the opportunity within the university, but here at the school, we have 5 different schools. We have relationships around the world. If you were there last night, you heard the speaker say, you've got to be global. I mean, we are not just North Carolina. We're just not the United States. We are global citizens. And so Michael Penny is going to come tell you some of the opportunities that are here for you if you join us. Michael.
Hello. So your time here at Carolina is probably the time in your life that you have the best opportunity to go abroad for a long amount of time that will benefit you personally, academically, and professionally. And we here at the J-school want to make it as easy as possible for you to go abroad, take classes at top journalism schools, bring that credit back here into the J-school, and make sure that you graduate on time. So we have 5 programs. If you go, to jmc.unc.edu/international, you'll see that we have programs at the University of Queensland, at City University in London, at Sciences Po in Paris, at Catholic University of Argentina in Buenos Aires, and then at the University of Navarra in Pamplona, Spain. So all of these programs are open to any J-school students. Some programs are suited to some specializations more than others, but they are open to all students. So if you are interested in studying abroad during your time here, please come and speak to me. And the UNC Study Abroad office has a couple of hundred other programs that you could apply to. So if you are planning to do that, come and speak to me anyway, because one, I want to know where our students are heading to, and two, I can talk to you about how that study abroad program can work with your courses and your requirements here in the J-school. My office is up on the 3rd floor in room 307. Wish it was 305, but there we are. And you can also follow me on Twitter at JMC_global. I don't tweet much, but I don't think I'm overstating that when I do, it could change your experience here in Carolina. A couple of other things to mention. Number one, we do have 4 scholarships and awards that we have in the school specifically for international activities. So if you're planning to do a study abroad, or you have an international project you want to do, or you just have an international activity that you need some funding for, come and speak to me. You might be able to apply for one of these awards, or I'll be able to tell you what other offices in the university you can speak to for help funding that. Also, just want to mention, in the spring semester, Professor Richard Cole, who I don't think is here, runs a course on mass communication and journalism in Mexico. He's teaching that this spring in conjunction with Arizona State University, and that course involves a week-long spring break trip down to Mexico to visit the campuses of Monterrey Tech and to meet with journalists there. It's a really great course and it's a great trip, so if you're interested in that, please talk to Richard. He is on the 2nd floor in the corner of the building there. And one last thing that Richard also helps out with is that each summer here at the J-school, we send 2 students to China for an internship with china.org.cn, which is an English language news site in China. And we send 2 students there each summer for, I think, an 8 or 10 week long internship. You edit the website, you write news stories. You have to pay for your airfare over there, but then when you are there, china.org covers your accommodation and pays you a stipend as well. So if you're interested in that, come and see me or Richard Cole. Cool. Thank you very much.
A lot of information coming at you, I know, and our faculty are very global thinking as well. So many of the projects, photojournalism projects, et cetera, bring students during some of the spring semesters to the world. Last spring, we did the Galapagos project, which was very successful as well. So we have a colleague from the business school who's here to tell you about some of the student program heel raisers. So Colin Sullivan, will you come up and fill folks in on the heel raisers?
Good morning. I'm here to talk to you guys about a really great opportunity, especially for students in the journalism school. We are looking for ambassadors for the Heel Raisers Council. It's a great opportunity. We've had a lot of students before from the journalism school, so we'd love to have more on board. So who are the Heel Raisers Council? What we do is we work in conjunction with the University Development Office. They're in charge of bringing in all the private giving to the university. And what we do is we work with them to promote and advocate student giving back to the university. And we do this through our events that you might have heard about, Tag Day and Tuition Free Day. So why is giving important to the university? Only about 32% of Carolina's budget comes from tuition. The rest comes from from the state budget, as well as private giving. So a lot of your favorite programs, departments, and services at Carolina are funded privately, and that's what helps set Carolina apart from other universities. So as an ambassador, you would work with the University Development Office as well as a specific department or service on campus. It's a great way to build your resume, utilize the skills you're learning here at the journalism school, and network with deans and head of departments here. So we're going to have an interest meeting next Tuesday, August 28th, from 5 to 6 o'clock in Union Room 3102. We would love to have you there. It's a great opportunity. If you have any questions, I'll be down here after, so stop by, introduce yourself, and we'll get you on our listserv. So thank you.
So we're going to stop talking at you now because we've got student booths to tell you about the various departments, and we also want you to be able to talk to individuals who you might want to follow up from. But just as we sort of sum up today, this school is over 100 years old, and we sort of track back. The book came out a couple of years ago because the first classes were given in the English department. And slowly but surely, the state saw journalism as something they really wanted to have within the university. And it took some years, but it became an independent journalism school. But we are really different than what we were in the beginning because we are, yes, we're still turning out great writers and great analytic thinkers, but we're also going to graduate people who are digital storytellers and data miners. Big data is big here because we can turn it into stories. We have multimedia magicians. We have photojournalists. We have business reporters. We have analysts, policy wonks, public affairs strategists, advertising social media pros, and entrepreneurs. There's an entrepreneur minor in this university. 30% of them are journalism school students. Our students are heading to companies as diverse as NPR, to public relations companies, to Google, to Dow Jones, to the New York Times, to newspapers in North Carolina, to community newspapers. But things have changed, and one thing remains constant. I can be prejudiced, and I can brag because I've only been here 6 months. So this all happens. Can take no credit for an incredibly talented and committed faculty. When I travel and meet alums, as I mentioned earlier, they talk about the people who affected their lives. They'll talk about individual names who got them to do what they want. This is a school where professors touch your life. It's an institution with both heart and smarts, and it breeds talent and relationship. Careers and lives are nurtured and shaped here. And so I would like to have all the faculty and staff who are here right now to stand so you can take a look at them and find them afterwards and to give them a big round of applause. Come on. They took the time to be here because they knew there were students who would want to know more about the school. So I'd also like to give thanks to, I don't know if they're all in the room, but Kyle here and Megan, and where's Morgan? Morgan? He's not here yet. They're the team who put together today and also did one other thing. Our challenge this summer was to really spruce up this building, to make it look a little bit more digital, and to clean up the walls, because all our students are always sort of sitting on the floor with their backpacks going down, and to do it with no money. And this morning I ran into Morgan, who had the carpet, the vacuum cleaner, because everyone was here at 7 o'clock this morning to paint. Since we painted the halls like last week, but then the guys came in with the electrician to wire the computers, and so they were all here at 7 o'clock this morning to repaint those areas, so it would say to you, come on in. This is the school you want. But I just want to say thank you, because this is the kind of commitment. 7 a.m., walking around with a vacuum cleaner. Happens to be the guy who did all the video you're going to see. So right now, if you go through these doors, you're going to find the various student clubs that have also all sorts of opportunities. We're involved with professional organizations, with national organizations, and also just UNC organizations. I want to remind you about the trivia contest. There's real money you can win. See how good you are, whether, this is your first step onto Jeopardy, And I just want to say thank you for coming. It's worth your time. This is a fantastic school with a tradition, a heritage, a legacy, and where we're willing to reinvent the future every day. Thank you very much.